Hey everyone, Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys ready for another one of my squirrely diatribes I usually like to do? Straight off the cuff, I'm going to tell you right now, with what is happening, with all of this speculation of whether or not the Lincoln Cent is going away, whether this whole executive order by the president is actually sticking, from the February production numbers of brand new 2025 Lincoln Cents, we put all of these together, and I think there's a lot of like real smoke and mirror stuff really happening here. I want you guys to be aware of what's happening in the market all throughout because of this news of the Lincoln Cent and everything that's like all of this fog that's indicating that this is going to go away. I am telling you, what is happening now, quite frankly, if you guys do not realize this, might be having the exact 180-degree effect of what you think is going to be kind of like this domino effect all across the numismatic world, especially when it comes to Lincoln cents. And then Lincoln cents, Indian head cents, and then Indian head cents to large cents. A lot of the overall sentiment when all of the news broke about a month ago that this could be a possibility, people were out just buying whatever. They were buying whatever they can, whenever, and however much possible. To really obscene, ridiculous amounts of money. Now, we're not just talking about 2025 coins. We're not just talking about 2024, 23, 22, whatever's out there, or older coins. We're not talking about copper. We're not talking about old key dates. But a lot of people all throughout the industry, all throughout the hobby, are kind of under this impression that all of a sudden the market is going to explode in just insane ways that we've never seen possible. Part of that is going to be some of the big dates, the big coins on the secondary market, on the auction circuit. Great collections, heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, Lawrence Galleries, or David Lawrence, and a bunch of all the other avenues and areas where we think that this is going to have just a passive kind of thing that's going to enhance the value of all the coins that we have. I am telling you this right now. Think about the fact that more people, because if we remember, it wasn't even 30 days ago, 2025 Lincoln Cent rolls, whether it's Philadelphia or Denver, the first couple had sold in excess of $100, like $150 to $175. Sure, there's a couple outliers, but we all saw what happened. A lot of the rolls of over the course, I would say, of 7 to 10 days, they were sold for like $50, $60, $70 a roll. All right, which created this wild and crazy like hand of God of FOMO and just like we gotta act right now. We gotta buy it all before it's all gone. And then as time went on, there was going to be okay. Let's see what the updated vintage figures are going to be for the month of February. It turns out it blew away everybody's expectations. The numbers were absolutely incredible. They were a lot higher than we all anticipated, and they're come crashing down, but not completely to zero, as now rolls are fallen to between $15 and $20 per. Obviously, like I had mentioned from the very get-go, this stinks like last week's leftovers. I had no cause in my mind to believe that these things were going to hold at that kind of money. Full bank boxes now well under $1,000, but we've seen bank boxes sell for $2,000, $2,500, $3,000. I mean, what's happening with those? What's happening behind the scenes? Are those getting unwound? Are they going back to the seller because of Now all of a sudden, the game has changed. And that now we're seeing more normalcy with the newer coins than we ever have. But rest assured, these things are not going to go to zero. They're not. Rolls, on any given day, they're selling for between $8 to $10 a piece. All right, which is where they have been. All right, sealed equity is still a thing in 2025. Some are just better performing than others, but 2025 Lincoln Cents, I wouldn't even touch them if they're over $10 a roll. I mean, not even in my wildest dreams would I do that. Even if by some miracle that the mintage numbers did not change for the month of March, okay, we'll know here in about 3 weeks if that's the case. We will not know if that number changes up until that time. If the number doesn't change, great. It deserves its $15, $20 price tag. I don't think it's worth more than that. As a matter of fact, I still find that price to be a little bit, above rate compared to all the other ones, right? Because, we're still talking about coins where they made, 300-400 million a piece per mint, rather. So now we're going to kind of switch directions. How is this ultimately affecting the secondary market for some of those rare key dates? Top pop coins, key type coins, that's maybe at their highest level that were, at the very beginning already expensive coins. I picked out 5 Lincoln Cents from this past week's Great Collections auction. And they're all, it's kind of interesting that these particular coins are selling right about now because they make the best examples of what I'm trying to illustrate about this market. Is the market really exploding? Are we looking at record prices? The prices might seem large the way they are, but is that number the highest that it's ever been? All right, so we're going to start out. We have 5 coins. The first one here is the 1936S Lincoln Cent. One of these sold at the highest possible grade level in the 67 plus, full red, the Stuart Blake collection. And, we had 2 coins that sold from the same provenance, the Stuart Blake Red Copper collection, which is one of the premier, well-known Lincoln Cent registries. So any piece that comes out of that Stuart Blake collection is going to be highly coveted. It's going to command the most amount of money. For what I understand, each and every single one of them is CAC certified, which puts them into a completely different category of rarity, prestige, and it's going to be a coin that if you own it, you're going to love it. Now, there have been other examples that have sold that weren't personally attached to the Stuart Blake collection. And we see that. We see a few, like this one here that sold in 2021, is the same identical grade, 67 plus red by PCGS, CAC certified. Obviously, you look at both coins, they're like polarizingly different. This one right here, the one that says March 9, 2023, or 2025 rather, was the one that sold over the weekend for $7,318.12. But we did have another one that sold July 30, 2023, kind of like what I consider to be, for the numismatic market, kind of like the crest of the market during the pandemic period. The pandemic period is from 2020 to about the end of 2023. So nearly 4 years there. $8,268, $900 more than what the coin sold for over the weekend that has Stuart Blake's name attached to it. All right, now if we're talking specifically about the Blake red copper piece, that one actually sold back in January 29, right here, 2023. The same exact identical coin and everything like that. The only difference is this coin right here, which is the same coin, was actually sent back to PCGS and then regraded, and then a CA sticker was applied to it. This particular piece that sold back January 29, 2023 when Mr. Blay was consigning his whole entire registry, was a 67. It wasn't a 67 plus. Full red, CAC, certed, all the good stuff. $3,741.75. So it doubled in value. And as you can see on that one, that seems to be like a feel-good story, which means that, hey, maybe the market has climbed up to new reaches, right? Not exactly. I mean, when we look at this, again, it fell short by $900 from the sale from July of 2023. So, it didn't quite cross that threshold. It could have very well been a $10,000 coin if kind of like the market and the need and desirability supported it. The whole problem here is when it comes to these high-powered, like top end of the census coins, it's a very limited market because they're going to be filtering through the registry set model and anyone that's participating in that. But as you can see, there's been a number of pieces over the course of the last few years that have sold on the open market, on Great Collection specifically, because Great Collection specializes in those top pop registry set needed coins. All right, so this particular one was more or less a win for anyone that's kind of like gauging the numbers. It's like, how can you argue with like a 2x multiplier win here by simply taking that coin, sending it off back to PCGS, and getting a half a point grade bump, the CAC sticker, reapplied on there. $7,300. I mean, that seems like a win, right? Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, that's a pretty good win. $3,500 is what the plus number is going to be on that one. But they're not all like that, unfortunately. The 1924 Lincoln cent, also from the Stuart Blay Red Copper Collection. So the January 15th, 2023 sale, again, falling in line with the Blay, the big kind of like sale, period of this coin. $53,718.75. Pay close attention to this one. This one is wildly crazy. So this particular one sold way back January 15th, 2023 for that amount of money. Okay, so we got to skip the next one because that's a 24S. And then we go to the next one after that. Okay, that's that original first coin that sold for $53,000. Guess what? This is the one that sold over the weekend, March 9, 2025, for only $45,000. That's a pretty hefty loss, with all things considering. And it's a good coin. It's a great date, for it not being a Denver or San Francisco coin. I mean, shoot, a Mid-State 67 plus red, CAC certified, a true powerhouse gauntlet for a registry set, lost over $8,000. $8,718.75 loss, from the original sale in 2023 to today, March 9, 2025. Right? Oh, wait, remember? They're going to do away with the Lincoln cent, right? So what does that do? That's going to rise. All the rising tides are going to raise all the boats collectively. They didn't raise this one. This one somehow was taken on water, and it was kind of like dry docked on the beach. So yeah, a pretty big deficit right here for the same coin sold at two different points in history. The next one, this one we began a lot of conversation on, the 1970S doubled die obverse, one of the rarest doubled dies in the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. So we go back to January 22nd because the original Stuart Blay sale was during that time period. It sold for $42,750. Wow, talk about spoils of riches. That is awesome. And then we go to just a night ago, March 9, 2025, the same exact identical coin, Mid-State 66 plus, which by the way, if you're not keeping score, this coin, the original Stuart Blay coin in a Generation 3 PCGS holder, that graded only 66 red was sent back to PCGS. Guess what? It got bumped up to a 66 plus red. They sent it off to CAC. It got the CAC sticker. Guess what? It went back on sale last week and ended up selling for $39,375 for a coin that grades half a point higher. Same exact identical coin. Stuart Blay provenance. Ended up losing about $3,000. Oh, wait. Yeah, the market, right? The market's doing this, right, to everything. Everyone's losing their cool, losing their head. You know, people are paying $20 a piece per roll of 2025 Lincoln sets, right? This is what's happening. Again, another missed opportunity, right? Is it a missed opportunity, or are we experiencing actually the exact kind of result here from all this news of the supposed end of the Lincoln set? All right, things kind of seem like they're going a little soft here. Here's another big one. I mean, we're just getting progressively bigger here. 1914. This time we're focusing in on something pretty specialized. It's a proof. It's a proof struck 1914 Lincoln cent. The same coin that was sold a while back, actually August 28th, 2022, another Stuart Blay collection piece. That one had sold back in 2022 for $126,562.50. Proof 68 red, CAC, green bean, you know, all the goods. That same coin sold later in the original holder, and nothing's changed there. Same coin, Proof 68, CAC, for $115,312.50. $11,200 loss. That's a huge loss. What happened to the market? I thought we were all moaning and groaning and just like, you know, getting all excited about, you know, about all the stuff that's happening with the hobby, right? It just wasn't so. This one, a tremendous loss, $11,000 loss. And then finally, the big one from last night, the 1922 plain no D. Oh yeah, just one of the consummate key days, right? It's like, oh, these things casually show up out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I beg to differ. This is one of the toughest coins to locate in any condition. It doesn't matter what it is. So the same coin sold in January 15, 2023, the Stuart Blay 22D, 22 no D, plain, strong reverse, PCGS Mid-State 64, red, cat green sticker, sold back a couple years ago for $253,125. Q in March 9, 2025. The same damn coin, same holder, same cert number, sold last night for a paltry $241,875. I use that lightly, okay? When I say paltry, people are going to be like, well, it's 241 is not nothing. It's a lot of money, believe me. But what it sold for 2 years ago compared to what it is right now, with the perception that because of the Donald Trump executive order news and everything that's flowing around it, okay, all of a sudden now is like white noise. It's the loudest white noise that's happening right now. $12,000 loss, by the way, on this one. Where in the grand scheme of things, based off of the price of the coin, it almost looks like real estate, right? You know, it's not out of the question for home values to drop, 5%. That's like normal. But when we're looking at in a bubble, just all of the things in the news that's happening to where we think it would drive the prices up of coins, it's actually doing the exact opposite. I think there's a lot of fear mongering here, and it's showing very clearly. The market is speaking this very loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon until we have some definitive facts. It's a lot of money right now. And compared to where we were at 2 years ago, inflation is still through the roof. the nationwide price of gallon is like what, $4.50 a gallon. I might be a little bit higher than that, but here in California, it's ridiculous. I just fill up the tank and it's like $5.50 a gallon. I'm like, there's no way this is sustainable. It's expensive, and where we're at today with our friggin' $15 for a dozen eggs type prices, there is a lot more than meets the eye outside of the end of the Lincoln cent. We are living in a world where just all of these extravagances are not sustainable. And it takes more than just putting out the news that, yeah, we're going to get rid of it because it costs 3.7 cents. I mean, look at it. It's inflation. We're paying more for the Mint employees to do their jobs. And, that trickles down to the final product. The final product, the per piece cost of items, it doesn't matter if it's in a warehouse or it's at the Mint. It always goes up when the price per hour of how much we make goes up. The same way that when the price of the raw price of goods go up, when tariffs are being thrown out there to Mexico, to Canada, right? Where we actually harvest like silver and some other ores from all these other countries. Now all of a sudden we're paying a lot more to get these into the United States, and it's all collectively really hampering the cost and everything of everything that we own or buy, everything we have to go to the store for, the price that we pay for lumber, the price that we pay for other things are going up. And it's things like this, the extravagances, that are beginning to feel the pressure. They're beginning to feel the pressure. So I want to let you guys know that, that things are not normal right now, and that we shouldn't be kind of like talking above our limit here when it comes to stuff like this. That's where we could get in trouble. I want to let you guys know, enjoy the hobby, but at the same time, you need to suppress some of that dopamine that kind of like comes into play in our brains, and we're like, ooh, gotta have it. It's like, why don't you just have a cup of coffee and do it about it that way, rather than mortgaging your future into something that has no overall guarantee. I love the hobby as much as anyone. I want to see record prices, but we all have to be kind of sensible about it. And as long as we do that, then, the market won't be as egregiously self-correcting, the way that it is right now. Because the amount of money that you're seeing on all these drops, they're pretty big. And they're a very powerful telling kind of like sign for the future that, you just never know what's going to happen. But one thing does not cause another thing to act in a certain way that we believe it should act, because if the Lincoln cent were going away, what's really going to happen? Are collectors going to stop collecting Lincoln cents, or is there going to be more desirability for it? As of right now, we don't know what that is, because a lot of the things in our normal life, the cost of goods and stuff, our mortgages, they're really what matters. Until, there's some sort of balancing of the scales type effect of what's going on. Until that happens, then we're not going to see some insurmountable changes. We have, up to this point, been seeing a lot of losses. And they're at this large of a scale. When you see it at this large of a scale, it hits you in a more profound impact. If I showed you, like, say, Mid-State 63 Morgan dollars, which cost $100, and then now they've dropped down to $80, yeah, that's a pretty big impact, but $20 is not going to make or break someone. When someone invests $250,000 into a 401k and they check it, a year later and it's dropped down to $235, holy crap, that's something that'll make you kind of realize what's going on here. As opposed to the cheaper, smaller scale items where $20 doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it all adds up. So that's kind of like my talk. Someone had said, "Boy, this guy loves to talk." I'm like, "Yeah, you damn right. That's the passion in me. That's the personality. That's just how I roll." I want to let you guys know that the market is still fluid. It's still correcting. We should not be feeding into this frenzy as much as we are, because we're seeing it correct right before our very eyes. Whether each and every single one of my viewers go out there and buys every single roll of 2025 Lincoln Cents, it's not going to do a damn thing. That puppy, that price is still going to drop, as is everything else. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the hobby as much as I am. Be careful out there. It's a crazy world. We all know that. And I will see you guys later. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. You know what it does. And take care. So long.